Hello and welcome to She Boss Talk. I am your host, Shanté R. I am back here with another stimulus update. And more specifically, I'm here to talk about the EIDL advance and loan reconsideration for those who were denied. So this is in follow-up to a previous live that I did regarding my story about how I was denied the EIDL loan and what I did next as far as follow up with the SBA to get reconsideration. So if you haven't seen that video, you definitely want to check that out. But this is the follow up to that because I've gotten a lot of comments on that video, a lot of follow up questions. So I want to let you know what happened with me and what you can expect. So again, I believe it was last month that I actually received a response from the SBA letting me know that I was denied the EIDL loan. The same day that I was denied, I called them and I explained to them that I did not receive my grant that I was entitled to under the CARES Act. I'm entitled to it and you're entitled to it, whether or not you were approved or denied. So I let them know that. They recognized that they hadn't issued it out, but they didn't explain why they hadn't, but they told me what I needed to do was to actually request a reconsideration. So that is what I would ask you all to do too. So that's what I did. So the information will be in the description as to the contact information with the SBA that you can reach out to them and request them reconsider whether you want reconsideration for the grant that you didn't receive and you were entitled to, and or if you want the loan. So when I applied, I really didn't want the loan. I wanted the grant. So everybody applied for different reasons. So just assess why you applied and request reconsideration. Let them know why, based on whatever they said was the reason that they denied you, whether you didn't have a business bank account or credit. They they will, once you submit your reconsideration, they will respond. So I want to let you know that I did receive a response. I received a response this week from the SBA, and I received two separate responses. So what I did was I both emailed them and faxed them because, sometimes businesses get emails, sometimes they don't, sometimes they get faxes, sometimes they don't. So I just wanted that double assurance that someone within the SBA would get my information. So they did. So they acknowledged they received my information and what I needed to do. So I got one response specifically for the loan. Okay, based on the reason why I was denied was on credit. Now, I don't have a bad credit score. So I know a lot of you all have said that you were denied on credit and you're like, wait a minute, I don't have a bad credit score, right? But understanding what the SBA's credit requirements are, and I knew that, and I knew I was above that. But that's not all that they look at. It's not just your credit score. It may be something else linked to your credit, amount of debts that you may have. Maybe if you had a foreclosure, if you had a bankruptcy. So know that they will take those things in consideration. And so that's what they did. So they just asked me to submit some additional information for them so that they can continue processing my reconsideration. And they told me until I did that, then it would be on hold. So that's what I'm working on now, is to get them that information that they requested. Now, that was the correspondence number one. They sent me a separate correspondence related to the advance. So if some of you got your grant, that is wonderful, but so many did not, and you just chalked it up to like, oh, I'm just not getting it. Whether you were approved or denied, there are some of you that didn't get your grant, especially if you were approved. Don't just accept the funds if they didn't give you the grant. Follow up and ask them where's my grant money? Okay. So you're entitled to up to $10,000. And right now they're basing it on how many employees you have. So if you are just a solopreneur, you're considered an employee of one. That means you get $1,000. If you have 10 employees, W-2 employees, that means you're capped at $10,000. So up to $10,000. Okay. So I received this correspondence from the SBA that said that I needed to provide updated information. Okay, so I received an email. They provided me a link. I clicked on it. It took me to an SBA page so that I can update my information with simple information. What they were really looking for is my banking information. So I provide like my business name. I think maybe they asked for my address, my email, and then the banking information. Because when I spoke to the SBA director a couple of weeks ago, I said, well, I put all the information, but sometimes you may have put the routing number in the account field, and or vice versa, or may have missed a character in your account information. So you did not get the grant and you check the box saying that you wanted the advance when you apply, you should get it. And if you didn't, it could just be that they couldn't verify your account information. So that's what they did. So I just double checked, and I was slow to make sure that I was putting the routing number in the right area, and the account number in the right area, and that the numbers were accurate based on my account information. So I was going back and forth looking at my account numbers to make sure that they were accurate. They also told me that once I submitted that, then they would follow up and I should expect a deposit. So I'm just waiting on that. It's only been a couple days. Okay. I think it's been 2 days. So I'm still waiting. I'm waiting on that deposit. They said if I do not receive the deposit, they will follow up, or I can follow up with them and where to follow up to just give them the right information. So be just mindful to give them your correct account information where you want it deposited. Okay. So I'm excited, that I followed through and that I didn't just chalk it up to, oh, well, I didn't get it. And that I was persistent in contacting the SBA and understanding my rights and what I'm entitled to. You all have to do the same thing, and then have the patience to wait it out and make sure you're following through and you're monitoring and you're keeping your records. Because I think that there will be more that will happen in the future, especially any of us that applied during the first round of funding. They were really supposed to give us the entire $10,000. So I'm expecting to see what comes down the line as far as that. There may be some lawsuits, some litigation around the fact that the SBA really didn't disperse the funds as they were supposed to, just based on the fact that they had so many more applicants than they had expected. They did not go back to Congress and say, look, provide us more funding. There are still a lot of businesses, especially minority and women-owned businesses, that are struggling, okay, that have not gotten access to funding that they need. So these programs are so important to making sure that we can sustain ourselves and that we can be able to rise above COVID-19, right, and be able to thrive. So this is for you all. If you got denied, just remember you are still entitled to the grant if you click that checkbox that said that you wanted the advance. It doesn't matter if you were approved or denied, you're entitled to it. So just make sure that you have your letter. If you didn't get a letter, call them and request to have verification of the official letter that said that you were denied. And then also send in an email. You can fax in or mail it. Don't mail it, just fax or email it. A request for reconsideration of why. Let them know you were entitled to the grant, you didn't receive it, you would like them to provide that to you. And that is going to be so important. So I will provide another update on the EIDL as soon as I receive my deposit. So I've been checking. I'll be excited to be able to share that with you. And so while I'm on here, I just wanted to give a few other updates regarding the Paycheck Protection Program. Okay, so there is still $120 billion. Okay, $120 billion still available to small business. And just to clarify what small business is, okay, because a lot of you entrepreneurs don't consider yourself small business. This is for-profit, nonprofit, independent contractors, self-employed, 1099, whatever you consider yourself. If you are doing any type of business, you have 500 or less employees, you qualify for the PPP program. As you qualify. And so you need to see if that program works for you. That is a forgivable loan. That's the difference between the Paycheck Protection and EIDL. EIDL is not forgivable. So you get the EIDL loan, it is not forgivable, but it came with that grant, which is free money. The Paycheck Protection Program is forgivable, which means what if you get $100,000 in loan, you have the ability to have that 100% forgiven. Okay, 100% forgiven. Okay, and they changed the rules. They passed a new bill, the Paycheck Protection Flexibility Act, that really allow more flexibility, more time for small business owners to use that money to really get up and running. So now you only have to, spend 60% on payroll, right? So if you have employees, you spend it on your payroll. If you don't have employees, that part of it is automatic for you because you don't have employees. You're an employee of one, and all you have to worry about is just spending the other 40% on non-payroll related expenses. And that's like rent, mortgage, utilities, those types of things, anything non-payroll related. And so there's still so many of you that have not applied for that program. I would encourage you to do that. You can do that through Square, PayPal, Intuit, go to your own bank. You can apply multiple places. You can only be funded from one institution. But if one financial institution is dragging their feet, don't let that stop you. Apply somewhere else, because people are now being funded. They're applying and getting funded in the same day or in 48 hours. So I know from experience, PayPal has been great. Square has been great. Intuit has been good. Cabbage is another one. But go try your bank first, where you do your business banking is going to be crucial. So Secretary of Treasury Munchin said also that what they're doing is, you have an opportunity as a small business owner, even if you don't qualify for the 100% forgiveness on your Paycheck Protection Program loan, you can get partial forgiveness. Okay, so there was a problem with that. Like if you didn't spend exactly that 60% on payroll, were you going to not get any forgiveness? And he said no, that you will be able to get a portion of forgiveness. So really, there's no reason why you should not get full forgiveness of your loans. For those of you that are out there, if you follow the process that you're trying, so you're not held accountable for people that do not, come back to work for you. They understand that that businesses are struggling to get some folks back due to a number of different reasons. So they're not holding you accountable for those types of things. And they're actually considering and talking about, they haven't made it official, but they're talking about just turning it into a grant for everybody who has the Paycheck Protection Program loan amount of $150,000 or less. That makes it easy. It streamlines the process for them and for you as a small business owner. And I think they should do that anyway. So if and when they do that, I will follow up with more information on that. But feel free to please leave your questions in the comments. I have been following up with you all that have those questions, but take action. Don't just accept that somebody told you no or denied you something if you feel that you should get it, right? And just be able to tell your story as to why you should get it or why you should be considered. You have a voice and you should speak. You have to speak up for yourself and advocate for yourself. That's the only way you're really going to get things that you want. Okay. So again, this has been an update on the EIDL loan and advance program. My story, what has happened with me, the same things that I have done, you can go and do that too. So I wish you all success. I hope you all take this information and go reach out to SBA, submit your reconsiderations, get your loans. Come back and tell me what you're using them for, because there's more flexibility in the use of the EIDL loan versus the Paycheck Protection Program, and they really serve two different purposes. So I would love to hear how you're using the funds that you have already gotten out there. And if you have any questions, again, regarding either program, feel free to leave them in the comments. There's more information. I have other videos, so feel free to watch those. They're free information. Please subscribe to the channel for more updates, and I'll be sure to keep them coming, because it's so important for us to be a support to each other during this time as small business owners, as women in business. That's why I'm here, to really help to support you in business. That is all that I have for today's updates. I'm so glad to see you all out there. Continue to be the boss with amplified impact. I wish you all continued success. Be safe and be in good health. And I will talk to you later. Have a wonderful Friday.